as the title and thumbnail suggested, we're going to be showing you how I scratch coat over brick, how I render over brick. And not only will this video go into great detail on all the preparation and groundwork that should be done before your top coat, which will be shown in a later video, basically the second video, and then also we're going to follow it up with some acrylic render in the third video, which will be about prepping the render top coat and applying and finishing the acrylic color coat render.
Let's describe Daddy's videos.
Straight at it, guys, and little visual for you. You kind of see what's going on. I'm coating satin cement render over brick, and this is typical red brick here that we get quite often. And I'll go through my mixes, what that stuff is that I've painted on. I'll do the whole works here with you, and I'll explain everything in as much detail, trying to keep it as simple as possible so it's easy to follow, especially for new plasters and people trying to get into rendering, and maybe some people just want to do a wee bit of DIY or patchwork around the house. This is definitely a video for you. So as you can see, coating my satin cement, the mix is 2-to-1. Yes, I do have SBR in my mix, and yes, I have some waterproofer in it and some mortar mix plasticizer that helps it flow and work so lovely. As you see, this is quite a nice mix and it works well. It's not too sticky. SBR can make the stuff sticky and can make it set that little bit faster. Now this was done in colder weather, so I don't mind that whatsoever. Again, I don't mind my scratch coat hanging a bit either, as I leave it at least a day anyway to fully firm up. I don't try and double coat this stuff same day, even in summer. I let it set up, guys. If you were doing this in winter, frostproofer might be the thing to use, guys. A bit of accelerator, and that will set it off quicker for you, so that the frost doesn't destroy your bond to the brick. So the other thing I want to say is this brick, you can see sort of on the top right there why the owner wanted it rendered. Some of the bricks are just sort of going rotted themselves, you know. There's never been render on them before, so it's just the age of them. So this is just about tidying up the surface here, and basically we are stabilizing it a bit as well, and it will look a lot nicer when it's all done. So the next thing is, you're probably asking, what's that white bluey looking glue all over the walls? And that's exactly what it is, guys. It is glue. It's SBR. SBR is not to be mixed up with PVA or exterior PVAs. Exterior PVAs actually are waterproof, but this is SBR. Painting this on, in my opinion, the best way to coat over it is when it's still wet and tacky. And believe me, guys, this stuff goes from wet to tacky to dry very, very quickly. When it starts to dry, it does dry very quickly. There's not much ground in between. And the reason I want to emphasize this point is that you really do want to get over it when it's still wet, so that the render, the SBR, and the wall, they're all setting together, and that'll really form a good bond, a good chemical bond with the satin cement render and the SBR. Otherwise, if it's dry, you've sealed the surface. Yes, it will sort of help bond and it'll slow down suction, but it will not give you as superior as if you go over it when it's still wet. This is much, much better to go over the SBR when it's wet. So that's the big tip on this one, guys, and that's really will help you out. So if you do find in the summer, oh, you're painting the SBR and it's drying, don't paint as much. Just paint areas that you know you can cover, you know you have enough sand cement mixed for, you can get the scratch coat on and covered. So that's out of the way. That is the main thing. Second thing with that is obviously keep your ground covered up, your windows taped up, or at least wash them straight away as soon as anything does hit them. Again, with it in the sand and cement will be that wee bit more flexible and also that much more sticky, more, it would almost remind you of like a nice tile adhesive that has that strength to it, that sort of real adhesive strength to it as well. So you do want to wash your tools up and stuff, and you will notice I'm wearing gloves for this one, and that's for good reason because the stuff does stick to your fingernails and stuff when it starts to pick up. But yeah, so just really not going to derby this, as the bricks actually not too bad on this wall. Some of the other walls did need a bit of straightening because they're a bit twisted, but this one not too bad. So I'm happy enough that I'm going to be able to coat it. Was going to put beads on, but decided for a rule on these corners. And again, the video on that, on how I form corners, external corners, sand and cement corners, they're all on the video. They're all in the channel, guys. Lots of videos on them if you just want more detail on corners. But this is the first coat. This is called the scratch coat. You can also do a scud coat on the red brick. Again, that's also on the channel. The whole mix recipe to that is on the channel, and again, it goes into quite a lot of detail. But the reason I haven't decided to go with the scud coat here is because it's so messy. It's so hard to clean. You can see I don't got much room to work here. It's actually a jacuzzi I'm working beside, and the windows everywhere, and also the white fascia boards and guttering. That would all be quite messy. With even a cleanest plaster, it's going to be messy. So this this is just another option, guys. Scud coat is just superior, just as good as this, and it will really stand up. But if you have to pick your battles, guys, what's going to be best, cleanest, tidiest for the job, and definitely for this one, it's painting the brick and getting it coated, other than splashing the scud coat everywhere. But as you can see, just getting everything neatly on, and a good scratch key for the next stage, which will be coming up next week.